All right, SEC charges Hex founder Richard Hart with misappropriating millions of dollars of investors' funds from unregistered crypto asset security offering, raising more than $1 million. We'll have more on this in 10.
Bang, bang. Welcome to Vets and Crypto. It's your boy Vets. What's up, everybody? Hey, today's a great day. We got the man, Chocolate Taint, in the house from the Degen RoundTable. Love that name. And then a surprised pop-in guest here for a couple minutes, Mr. Bob Lagai. I know he's in and out, but we'll bring everybody up and say hello and shalom. Yeah.
What's up?
What's going on, guys? Good to see you.
Welcome. Yeah. I know Bobby will be in and out, but thanks for stopping in, man. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully I got enough signal here.
Yeah, well, fuck it. We'll wing it, you know? Hey.
Yeah. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Let's go.
It's the best way to do it. Doing it live. Hey, you still got the background music playing? Did you want to play that throughout the whole thing? I still hear it coming in.
Yeah. I'll turn it down just
I'm not hearing that.
Yeah, no worries.
It's probably a bad sign.
I'm over here grooving, so.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
oh, you might have a tab open on YouTube still.
Yeah, no, I purposely have it just slightly turned it down slightly.
Oh, okay, got it.
But what up, everybody?
Trying to set the mood, turn the lights down a little bit.
Yeah, set the mood, You're
right.
welcome to the world. Welcome to the sphere, like we're just doing our thing, chilled back, some background music noise while you're doing some things. Whether you pick up a thing or two while you got it playing, we'll see what happens here. But yeah, man. So wanted to have and thanks for coming on, aka Josh Chocolate Taint. Let's just start with how'd you come up with that? Let's get to the meats and potatoes.
Yeah, for sure. So, I was trying to come up with just a moniker to use on Telegram. This was probably around 2021, and I didn't already have a Telegram, and I'm not a big gamer or anything like that. So I was trying to come up with some sort of name, and I was like, well, what's one that's going to stick out, and just for whatever reason, I just came up with Chocolate Taint. Like, to me, that was hilarious. And to me, I was like, if somebody told me their moniker was Chocolate Taint, I would never forget about that. So it's definitely an attention get. Yeah, it's definitely attention getter. Every time I pop in on somebody's live stream or something like that, or this, that, and the other, people are always commenting on it and stuff. And it's like, boom, you'll never forget about it, baby. So
hey, man,
that's
I'd almost say it makes the panties drop, just bam.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Every time, right? Woo!
Absolutely. And then I throw people off because on Twitter and Instagram it's Chocolate Taints plural, but then when people refer to me, it's just Chocolate Taint. So it's like, oh, is it plural of taints? Like, is it two taints? How many taints are we talking here? So
is it just you, or is it the whole harem?
Exactly, right.
I mean, do we have some skid marks or what? What kind of a day has it been? I don't know.
Right.
One's mind, depending how degenerative it is, can go down many rabbit holes, I suppose.
Does it start to itch if you don't keep it moisturized?
And I remember
Go ahead.
So I remember the first time I was in my first crypto mindset course, and I asked a question, but I didn't have my camera on, and the name was Chocolate Taint. And then like 4 or 5 different people, as soon as I asked my question, all you see is that guy doesn't sound like he's chocolate at all. I was like, okay.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're right.
A bunch of whiteys.
Yeah, like check this guy out. Shit. Oh my god. Yeah. Hey Bob, have you done a crypto mindset with DCC with Miguel and Charlie and them ever? Or?
I took Q3 2022, I think, or 20. Yeah, it was the end of 2022.
Yeah.
During the meltdown, I was. It was good to have the moral support. I like the course. I think it's a good way to like just broaden your awareness of the space.
Yeah, definitely. Man, I just, and whatever it is, but at least like it's a good, honest one with good, honest people. Because so many noobs, as we see, get in, you're lost in the sauce. You're trying to figure the shit out on Twitter or X, and there's so much misleading stuff. And who do you believe? And
right.
So, but it also takes a while. You're lucky. You're lucky if that's one of the first things you find and can get into to like set a foundation and a base to start working from in your crypto journey.
Yeah, it really does fast track. It fast tracks the learning curve for a lot of people. I mean, if you've been around for a while, you can look back on the mistakes that you made and stuff like that. And, the course is what it is, and people, they're going to apply it as much as they will. They can either take it and run with it, or they can, just let the information fall on deaf ears. But, the information's there for people. The big thing about the crypto market is, though, like, you can have somebody teach you and coach you along the way. That's definitely possible. But, I draw a lot of comparisons to the military. You have to actually go through it. You have to experience it. You have to be there through the tough times in order to truly learn from it. Because, similar like the military, I can tell you what combat's like all day, but until you actually go through it, you'll have no idea what to do about it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Along that same thought, I had watched all the streams and I'd done all the practice trades and stuff. Ain't nothing that prepares you for the first time that you YOLO on leverage. Just, this van I'm riding in, actually, I call it the Hex van because I actually took out a loan on it to buy the bottom of whenever Hex launched. That was the plan. But while I was bored, I had it on Kraken and I started using it. Thank God they don't have super high leverage over there. But I was like, oh, you know what? It's gotta go down from here. Literally, that was my reasoning. It's got to go down from here. And just about lost the whole thing. I managed to make most of it back before Hex launched, but yeah, nothing prepares you for that feeling when you get it completely wrong and you're on the wrong side of the trade and you're actually not sure, because you're kind of noob, you're not sure how to unwind the trade. That was fun, but I figured it out. It's definitely a valuable lesson, but yeah, nothing. There is no substitute for experience there.
Yeah, it's and almost everybody that's been in it for a minute has a story, has experienced a loss, has sent some, at the most basic, you've sent some shit to a contract address. Like, I mean, well, good for you, man. You're doing all right. Yeah, it hurts. It's kicking the balls, but it's like average.
Rabby saved me once. I almost did it once, and then Rabby popped up the warning. So technically, I would have got if I hadn't switched to Rabby already.
Yeah, you excited? Are you Josh using Rabby at all yet? Have you switched over, or still MetaMask?
I typically use cold storage, and then I'll use MetaMask to transition between the two if I'm keeping something or I want to rotate or something like that. But most of my stuff's on my cold storage. So
I still use
MetaMask.
So it's always good, especially like on X, because there's a lot of different spaces that always occur, right? and even Bob and I, like, I've jumped in some weird shit, you know. You just never know. That was a weird
The
one.
gal down in Australia.
Yeah, dude. Anyways, it took a minute to, yeah, but
Yeah, it's pretty much a given when you're talking to me. I'm talking about hardware wallet and then whatever interface you want to use.
yeah, I mean, you know, like they say, act interested. You never know what kind of conversation might come out of it, what have you.
Though I will say it's not without cost, because I was this close to like 14 billion Fork Pepe when Pulse Chain launched. I was there. I found the swap. I was like on it. I was hitting confirm on my hardware wallet, and I watched the pool reprice before I could get the transaction through. God dang it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Morales, what's up, man? He's a fellow Army dog. Got to have you on as well, man. You know, hopefully we'll see you in Vegas. Hopping on a flight tomorrow myself. Any of you guys going to Vegas for the Pulse Chain meetup? Tour?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. I've had a couple people ask. Wasn't able to make it this time. Just I got some stuff that I'm working on and dealing with and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I won't be. What about you, Bob? Are you heading down?
One of these days I will. Some people that have been around me know my wife has been. She's basically been not much of a functioning adult for about 4 years now. Basically, since Hex launched, that's whenever she kind of went down for the count. She pretty much, like, she can't really tolerate vehicle rides. She hasn't driven in years. She pretty much, it's a big deal that she can, like, get up and, like, walk around the house pretty consistently these days. But so that kind of keeps me at home. Eventually, I would really like to make a meetup sometime.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. Well, hopefully things are going in the right direction and baby steps and progress and all that good stuff. Yeah. But yeah, man. So Mr. Taint, sounds like you've done some things, traveled in the world. Sounds like you might have been in the military for a minute. You mind sharing with us what you feel comfortable, what you want to share with the kids at home?
Yeah, man, sure. So I was in the military for a hop, skip, and a jump. So graduated high school in 2006. I immediately enlisted into the military in 2006 after I finished my basic training in AIT. 5 weeks later, I was on orders to deploy to Baghdad for the surge. So I spent 12 months in Baghdad, came back home, and then I felt like I still left a little bit over there. I really fell in love with that environment and the mindset that you had to have over there. It was my first real world experience, and I just absolutely loved it. So I gained a lot of experience while I was there, ended up hopping on another deployment, deployed back in 2008. And by that time it was a totally different war, but I had a little bit of experience under my belt by that time. So I was able to lead a couple guys and take on more of a supervisory role. And then came back home in 2009. And for the first 5 years of my military time, I said I was going to be a lifer. I love the lifestyle. I love the brotherhood and the camaraderie. But around 2011, I was taking a look at things and I was like, you know what? I'm 23 years old. I've had 2 combat tours. I was looking at I was looking to deploy to Afghanistan in 2012 if I had re-upped my contract. So I decided, no, it's time to be a kid a little bit. I skipped out on that version of my life. So I decided to get out. And I struggled with the decision for like 2 or 3 years, man. I think a lot of guys do that, especially if they put a lot into it and they really make it. They really try to make something of themselves in the military. When you get out, you're constantly on the website. You're constantly looking to see, okay, should I call a recruiter? Should I try to get back in? What's going on in life and stuff like that. And but yeah, man, but it's crazy, man, because now it feels like it was a completely different life. Sometimes, I'll look at the metal display case that I have here in my house and I'll just be like, man, that was like a whole nother life ago, it seemed. But yeah, that's my experience, man. Two real quick combat rotations, got a lot of experience, did a lot of good stuff, and had a lot of fun. Had a lot of terrible, scary, frightening times over there too. I can't put that. Can't go without saying that, but yeah, that was me.
So you're a infantry guy, right? With going to AIT, that's Army infantry training.
So no, so AIT is advanced individual training. So my MOS, I was a 31 Bravo military police. So when I was younger, I had always wanted to be a police officer.
Gotcha.
So that was the way the recruiter tricked me into it. If I could have gone back and done it again, I probably would have done a different MOS, either Cav Scout or infantry. My little brother followed in my footsteps. He went infantry, 2nd Infantry Division, deployed to Afghanistan a couple times. But yeah, I did the military police route, and I don't know if it was good timing or not, because the large mission after the invasion and after Iraq fell was retraining the Iraqi army and the Iraqi police. So a large majority of the mission fell on training Iraqi police at that time. So we didn't have the vintage military police role like you saw in World War II, where they were handling checkpoints behind the lines and stuff like that. Now we're out at IP stations. We were teaching them how to do patrols and all that different sorts of stuff. So I was an MP for 6 years, but never once did I see a patrol car. Never once did I write a ticket. Never once did I do any of that. It was all combat work. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I heard a lot about that era where a lot of the support, like it didn't matter what your MOS was. Like you do your day job and stand post. If you were a mechanic or I've heard that pretty common. Other MPs, I was in the Marine Corps, kind of the same thing. Like, I was MP, never stood duty stateside, always, only deployed.
A lot of it. I mean, we would have our truck mechanics, we would have our cooks. It depended on leave rotations and stuff like that. And I mean, if there was a hole that needed to be filled, they picked up their M4, they grabbed their battle rattle, and they were hopping in the Humvee with us. So, that's just how it worked at that time. So, it didn't really matter what your MOS was. I mean, of course, like the intel guys were doing intel work, and various MOSs doing what their actual job was. But
I just realized what my my screensaver or a more profile picture is. It's that guy Frankie. Somebody, he got to be sort of viral in the Bitcoin crypto communities. He's like an amateur weatherman. He's actually kind of an odd guy. He seems like he's a little bit slow, but he uploaded videos in 2010 of him standing in various remote places just screaming the word Bitcoin. And so that's this guy here, whenever I turn off my camera for a second, Frankie somebody.
he reminds me of Sloth from the Goonies. Hey, you guys.
Yeah. And he just stands out and he's like the middle of an empty road, and he goes, Bitcoin. It's like, all right, buddy, on you. But yeah, I think that's you were saying.
Claim to fame, Jesus. Everyone's got to have one somewhere, somehow. No doubt. So anything specific that crypto-wise, you guys? I know, I guess Earn has launched, Power City Earns out there. I really have not touched it. I just pulled up the website, but that's about as far as I've gotten. Have you done anything? Anybody done anything with it or anything yet?
I mean, I haven't.
I was up all night.
I haven't done anything with it. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how we've already hit all-time high on Bitcoin, and we're not even at the halving yet. So I'm still trying to understand and break that down. So.
Yep, there is that. And here, real quick, I'll pull that up. Let's see if I do it all right here. Oh, there we go. There's the old earner here. So I mean, if you're a little familiar, Bob, you have any broad strokes you want to talk on it?
Take a lot. Bottom line, right up front, take a page, learn from the liquid loans guys and understand that. So I was planning on using liquid loans eventually. I didn't sacrifice for it, so I wasn't like all in right off the bat. But I hadn't really made my way over there. And then somebody on Twitter was like talking about the redemptions and stuff. And I started thinking about it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to work. So
Right.
the short story there that everybody should know, if you're going to collateralize your assets, when it comes to that list of risky vaults, you really need to go check that. Like before you do anything, go check that and see where it's at. If you want to, if you're one of the more analytical types, grab a spreadsheet and just start copying and pasting the balances and figure out, maybe some quick formulas to sort of calculate like, okay, there's a bunch of vaults that are down near the 130% collateralization, but then between them and about 300%, there's this big guy that's got a couple $1 million worth of collateral that he's put on the line. So that guy is between me and liquidation. As long as I make sure that my number is a higher number than his, I'll be further down the list. Because there's people complaining about with liquid loans about having like a 300% collateralized vault, and they were still getting their debt was getting paid off, and their pulse was getting redeemed to the whoever paid it off, whoever ran the redemption. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean that's how it works. If you're the top vault on the list, if you're on the block, you're the one that's there to fulfill that redemption. People were talking. I got one guy that was kind of arguing with me to understand. Once I said, well, turn the tables for a little bit and imagine you're the other guy, and you were lucky enough to pick up Pulse for 95 cents on the dollar. You'd be pretty pissed if you couldn't redeem it for $1 worth of Pulse and get your extra 5% out of that. And that's just how it works. If you don't, I said, if you, it's like that old joke where it's like, you don't have to run faster than a lion. You just got to run faster than that other guy. So just don't be on the first couple pages of vaults. You're probably going to be fine. So it's one of those things you got to check. So that's the upfront. But other than that, it's just, if there's some amount of PulseX you want to put into the protocol, you just open a vault, it's sign your permission for, I recommend just the exact amount you want to deposit. Pulse Chain's basically free. I don't think there's any reason to do these crazy infinite number token permissions on anything. You can just pay a couple pennies and re-up the permission if you want to deposit more later. Then you deposit it, and then you just turn up. If you want to, I would recommend you take, don't deposit unless you're going to take at least a few stable coins out, mint a few stable coins on the collateral, and even just play around with it. And then from there, you can either, that's PXDC.
Right.
Yeah, PXDC is a stable one way. So there, PXDC is the stable coin out of Earn, and Earn is the incentive token. It's their version of the incentive token. And you can either hold it liquid, you can LP it, but be aware that it's in the kind of inflationary parabola right now, where we're going from 0 Earn tokens to many hundreds of thousands of Earn tokens. So it's if you look at the chart, it topped about $7 and something cents last night. It's coming down. At least last I checked, it's coming down pretty heftily, getting sold off. But you can LP that between Earn and PulseX, and then farm that LP if you want to receive more Earn tokens. You can also farm, if you make some PXDC stable, if you meant say you deposit 10 grand worth, and then you collateralized a few $100 just to try it out. Well, then you can take that $100 worth of PXDC, go over and find the actually, if you just go on that, I think it's the utilities page, that's where your farms are, and there should be links directly to the pools. That way you don't have to find it yourself. You just click right on it to go to the pool, throw in $50 worth paired with PulseX, and then you go right back to this page and click max and deposit your LP tokens, and you'll start earning Earn. And like I said, it's up to you. You can either earn that Earn and then take it straight back to the first page, the same page as your vault, and you can single side stake it there, and that will earn you. That gets you PXDC fees. So whenever other people mint new collateral, like use their collateral to mint new PXDC stables, a portion of that is fees, and a portion of those fees go to you as an earn staker. I don't remember off the top of my head if that one receives earn as well. I don't think it does. I think it's just, it also the earn staking is gets a cut of the redemptions also. The redemptions aren't on yet, but when redemptions do happen, if we get a scenario where PXDC starts to drop, 99, 98 cents a token, well, that's up to people to buy it off the market and then bring it back, and they'll redeem their PXDC that they got for 98, 97 cents a token, and they'll get a full dollar's worth. So that's their incentive to bring that PX, to buy that back up to a peg, right? If you get it for cheap, then you get the extra 2-3%. Other than that, on that page, another thing you can do, that same page with the vault, I think it should be the next block down. That's where you can deposit PXDC directly into what they call the stability pool. If you heard people talking about that with liquid loans, I think of that as sort of the other people probably describe it, better than me, but my way I explain it is that's your forced buyer. That's like your buyer of last resort. These are people, you just understand that whenever you deposit PXDC, you will receive earn tokens as incentive, just as a trickle, just like the incentive token, the whole time you're in the PXDC staking pool, the stability pool. You will receive a portion. If anybody has to get liquidated, you'll receive a portion of their vault in exchange for a portion of your PXDC. Like, that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize either. In the stability pool, you are agreeing to buy, you're agreeing to have your PXDC. If a liquidation event happens, you're agreeing to have a portion of your PXDC. Basically, for every dollar of PXDC that gets burned out of your part of the stability pool, gets you $1.10 worth of PulseX.
Right. Okay.
And I think that's the quick rundown. I mean, I think I went over the farms. The farms are between PXDC, the stable, and PulseX itself, or between Earn, the incentive token, and the incentive and fee share token. You think of it that way. And PulseX is the other side of that pair. I think that's the quick and dirty. Like I said, the vault page. Check the vault page before you go in, so you can see how this. Some people have strategies where they don't mind getting liquidated. I think that's a quick down.
Right. Yeah, man. Sounds good. You're breaking up there. Kind of losing you a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But yeah, thanks for breaking that down, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. So interesting. We'll see how this one plays out. Time will tell, right? So
I know our guys. We did a deep dive with Jesse on the Earn protocol. We've had him on the show a couple times, and those guys did a phenomenal job breaking it down with him. Tracker pulled up a PowerPoint, and it was like a 2-hour episode that they pre-recorded and launched it. And then we had Jesse and Walrus both on stream a couple weeks. Well, maybe it's been a couple months ago now, but they were giving updates and all that good stuff. So if you guys want a real good, deep and dirty dive into Earn protocol, if you guys go to Degen RoundTable on YouTube, if you search through the videos, you guys will see the Earn protocol deep dive. It's a phenomenal watch. It'll give you all the information that you need there. And Tracker, Nate, Jeff, those guys put in a ton of work making sure the information was going to be easily obtainable, easily digestible, and that you would be successful after watching it.
Right. Yeah. And is that the one that's about 2 hours? And it covers like from A to Z on that one?
Yeah. There's a couple deep dives. There's one with Liquid Loans. There's one with Earn, and then we did a live stream with Jesse and Walrus, and that's the most recent one where they may have given a little bit of extra information, but the deep dive were pre-recorded videos that you guys will find in the video recording section on the YouTube channel.
Sweet. Sounds good. Yeah, and then do you want to throw in the link to for the Degen RoundTable for the kids at home and get them dialed in?
Yeah, man. Give me 1 second. Let me. I can go ahead and get it pulled up here.
Yeah.
How long have you been out of the military now?
I don't even want to say. Because I went in. Let me close this out here. I went in a month after high school, so I just knew I wasn't ready for college and needed to do something and wanted to get the fuck out of where I was, and so that I did. I went knocking on the Army's door first, and for one reason or another, didn't work out. And I went to their door first because the old man he was a MP in the Army, and then that didn't work out. So the Marines, welcomed me with open arms and probably had a quota to fill, and but it was. I don't know if you believe in destiny or whatever, man, but it just, for me, it just matched me. Like, it was a perfect fit for who I am, and it all came together in that regard. Hey, Bob, how long have you been out of the Marine Corps?
Let's see, March, it's 11 years. Mid-March 2013. Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah. Man. All right.
Got the old retirement by GSW.
Yeah, the hard way. Purple Heart hard way. Yeah.
The Purple Heart way.
Yes.
I get to use the gym for free. And I can go to the there's actually a commissary not too far from here, one of those little training bases.
Yeah, cool. Very good.
I hung around and I went through the pain of the med board, the administrative pain of the med board, just so that I could have right there, because I had that newborn when I was injured. By the time I got out, she was just about 2, and then my youngest was.
Hey, can you try switching off your video real quick? See if that helps some bandwidth at all. But I know you're out there in rural middle America or some shit. But yeah. Womp womp. Yeah, damn it. Fuck. He was just, man, that sucks.
Yeah, these things happen, man. We can roll with it. We're gonna have a good show regardless about it.
Yeah. No worries. So, hey, man. So I'm in Crypto Sloss group, and he posted this this deal here. Let me see if we can get him back. All right. Hey, you still there? Any luck? Hello, Clarice? No. What a face, man. Oh my god!
I swear
that is some Goonies shit, right?
He's snacking on a baby Ruth behind the screen right now. That's exactly what he's doing.
Oh, love you, man. Love you. Where was I? I digress. Let's see. Fuck. What was I doing? Sharing the screen. This cool thing. I know there's many ways to track, but to actually get like some gas alerts and share if you have, if you found like something like a ETH gas alert. But this thing, it goes to you have numerous options, bro. Like, some are kind of linear, but this one, you set up a profile, log in, and whatever format you like, you can get if you're waiting for a magic number, you set your number. If it's less than or more than here.
Now, is this something that Sloth endorsed or Sloth created, or what was it?
I think he just found it. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But I've used it, and I haven't lost everything yet. So
yeah. I mean, it sounds like something great. I my investment strategy, man, I'm a buy and hold. I don't really do too much trading while we're in the middle of a cycle. So, for me, just I know typically overnights here in the United States will be the best time to execute a transaction and stuff like that. But I know that something like this, where you can get alerts for gas fees, if you're making frequent ETH gas fee transactions, like if you're doing a ton of transactions, then something like this would definitely be beneficial. And I could definitely see it working out well for folks that do several transactions, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether you're swapping, whether any transaction that you do on Ethereum. I could see this being very beneficial for sure.
Yeah. Whatever the issue is or mission is that you're trying to accomplish, just another tool. I just like to share tools if I find something. I mean, other people are always sharing and what they find and all that. So it may be for you, it may not be for you, but it's another tool that's out there. So
yeah, and that just speaks to the development and stuff like that of everything that we got going on today. If you take a look at the PulseX website, I mean, it's beautiful. You look at PulseBurn, you look at what Hexfire's doing right now, you look at all these small assistance projects that are going on, not even talking about coins or tokens, not even talking about those projects. I'm just talking about, the software and the databases that people are developing in the space. And it's phenomenal. And it's awesome to see so many people throwing in as much as their hard-earned effort as they can to try to make things better. And most of this stuff is free, dude, to use, which is phenomenal. It's like a treasure trove of resources that we have that people just keep throwing their information in, and people just keep throwing their designs in, and it just looks and feels, and it's just so great to see.
Yeah. Throwing a new one up here. I didn't have preloaded, but since we're on the topics, if you guys don't know, RH Max, man, you guys need to follow that guy. He's a freaking animal. He's a local PNW Hexagon, one of my homies. So love you, RH, if you're out there. I love both the RHs, hey. But he created this GoRealDefi.com. And, when everyone was up in arms, I got to click an extra button for IPFS and blah, blah, blah. This works. It's the meat and potatoes. It takes you right there. Like, let's say bridge, boom. He just simplified those things. And obviously the biggest thing is trust. Did I click on the right link? In something in that regard. Launchpad.
The best thing to do with stuff like this, you got to use that bookmark. You got to utilize the bookmark. Once you find, a reputable website where you can start using stuff.
I'm going to do that now.
Yeah, throw a bookmark in there. So many people, they don't bookmark their stuff, and then they'll try to do some sort of Google search, and there'll be an active scam going on where it's, that somebody will create a website that looks very similar. It's just, a letter is off or a letter is added or something like that. It'll look the same. People connect their wallets, and then the next thing you know, poof, everything that they have is gone. And it's agonizing to see. So, definitely take the steps to utilize those bookmarks. Make sure you if you have to, handwrite things in a journal and keep that secure if you're more on the secure side and stuff like that. But
yeah, monkey see, monkey do. You know, like Jesus fuck's sake, leave me alone. What do I got to do to go to it? Anyways, fuck off. Sometimes you got too much virus shit going on, you know. Many people should know what this is, you know. But,
Oh yeah, for sure. Is that go.hex.com?
The Pulse Chain app one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Does that one look familiar, Bob? Oh, sorry. Oh, there you go.
I just unmuted it. Yep, the original. Just remember, if you bookmark, don't bookmark this. Bookmark one page before it. So bookmark the splash page with the whole like click here to go to mypinata.whatever, because that long IPFS hash you see up in the address bar, that thing changes every time there's an update. Though I suppose you can. I think so. If you're one of the people that does bookmark that last page, like this one's great to bookmark. RH is his landing page here. That's perfect to bookmark. But for other people that go like directly to app.pulsex, that's fine to bookmark. But if you bookmark the next step where you're going actually to the IPFS page, that's where if they make an update to the front end, well, that you have to hit the new hash. You know, basically the old hashes are still out there, but they're outdated. You know.
Yeah, all sites pointing to official IPFS apps.
Yeah. Oh, and if you do hit if you're not sure, there's I think all of the actual IPFS front ends in I think the bottom left corner. There's a little link to check for updates. And RH Maxi was saying that he sets this thing up to look for it, checks for an update like once, I think several times an hour. I think maybe every couple of minutes. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So, you know, so on his, you know, he's got tons of videos. Are you validating, Bob?
I am not. I have done IT work for years and I didn't want to have another job. I found something else to do with it. I'll say that.
Okay. You're going to be okay. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm doing other stuff with my Pulse. Maybe eventually. But it's like, oh man, you got, you know. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not that hard. I know you've talked about getting it done. It's just for the longest time I didn't have the best internet service at home either, so I didn't. Yeah, I should do my part and at least spin up one so that there's another physical node out there, because I could run one out of my house. I have the technology.
I'm sure you have the technology. Yeah. Josh, you into any of that stuff? Validating or any of that?
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm not into any validating. My focus right now is pretty much on my portfolio and just I like the macro market. Like I really like the macro market, taking the 30,000 foot view of things, trying to incorporate psychology, what the market trends are, not only in the crypto space but everything else. So that's my passion, that's my viewpoint. So as far as the validating, I mean, now I'll just say no. I don't do any validating.
Sounds like you have mixed feelings about it. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just because no, I don't do any validating, and I don't have mixed feelings about it. I just it's some things interest folks.
You don't see the value or the return in it, or
it's just not an interest to me. I mean, okay. It's just it's just not an interest to me. If I step on my toes, because of that or anything like that, then that's just a cross that I'll have to bear. But yeah, just right now, it's not something that interests me. I mean, plenty of folks do it. It's not something that interests me.
No, that's fair enough. And there's even, easier options now. Like you don't have to do the hardcore, buy the hardware and do all that. You can buy a pre-made one. There's the P. I
mean, they've made it easier than ever to start validating. Absolutely. They have, they have rigs out there that all you have to do is have the 32 million pulse and then boom, get this validator, and then you're validating, and that's awesome.
There's even the goat guys. They're with Feeder teamed up with them, and like 8 or 9 million PLS, and you buy a piece of the NFT, and then once they get a pool together of 32 million, then that's validator started, and then based that the rewards go proportionally to everybody in that regard. So it's just cool that they've lowered the bar of entry for those that are interested in doing that aspect.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to be true DeFi, you have to do that. You have to remove those barriers to allow everyone the opportunity. And when you just make it easier to do that, that's just going to incentivize DeFi to the greatest level. If you want to take the opposite approach to that, you want to start putting up walls and putting up barricades so that not everyone can participate, then you're going to have a more and more centralized system set up. And if your passion is DeFi, then that's the opposite direction that you want to go in. So, making it easier for everyone that's the only way to be true DeFi.
Yeah, for sure. So if you guys would, please subscribe. If you haven't, please hit that like button, get those algos working. We're trying to build this channel up for the greater good of everybody in crypto, and especially those, military veterans, active duty, present, first responders, what have you. Need to get more first responders, man. Need some peeps. I got a guy, Brad, firefighting with Brad. He's on YouTube, and actually going to team up with him, and Haunted from Up and Up X is going to come on the show. I think next week, Tuesday or something, but that'll be next week. So we'll do something with that. I think Mr. Hilarski will join us perhaps on that one.
When you said tomorrow you're heading to the Pulse Chain Tour?
Yeah. Get in tomorrow evening, and then go meet up, track down those crazy kids. They might be in the middle of their karaoke singing, catch some RG, dude. So they're gonna be. They said, well, I don't know if it's just the seminar, but it would be cool as well. Up to a point, it would be cool if they're streaming live. I think SJ said they were going to start streaming their events live. So some of those would be good. That would be that would be good. Like I said, up to a point, and that'd be kind of cool to catch an RG and some of the Hexicans belting some out. I know there are some good singers. I know Hexican the singer, or Danny the singer. He's in there as well. Do you have any non-vets on your stream? Of course there are. Just need peeps to, and there's plenty of others that are in different categories, like mental health professionals, or Sandy, the lovely Sandy. She's a pharmacist, so different areas, different people. Definitely would like to pick more people's brains. That's for sure. Let's see here. So on this, the good old ETFs, more specifically on the Ethereum side, the SEC delays decision on BlackRock Fidelity spot Ethereum ETFs. Are you aware that they kind of kicked this can down the road?
Yeah, but I mean, that's part and parcel to exactly what the SEC does. I mean, it took the SEC up until the last minute to approve the Bitcoin spot ETF. So at the end of the day, I mean, you would think, to the normal person, you would think, all right, Bitcoin spot ETFs have already paved the path for cryptocurrency ETFs in general, right? Yep. Ethereum, as soon as that came out, people started with, all right, Ethereum's going to be next. Ethereum's going to be next. And rightfully so. Ethereum has turned into a powerhouse. And this cycle right here is going to be the cycle that Ethereum solidifies itself as a blue chip. I like to tell people, a coin has to go through 3 cycles and constantly gain market cap and constantly see a price increase to get to that blue chip status. And right now, Bitcoin's the only one that's done that. But I think this cycle, as long as we see new all-time highs on Ethereum, which I have no reason not to think that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as long as Ethereum does that, Ethereum's going to go down as the blue chip stock. And, next cycle might be the first cycle that Bitcoin is just straight institutional money moving forward. It might be priced out of retail from that point. And Ethereum's not that far behind. Ethereum's probably 2 or 3 cycles away from being completely priced out of retail investment. But yeah, something like this coming from the SEC, I mean, for some reason, they are just bucking against the cryptocurrency space in general. It's just been terrible. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a boomer mentality. I don't know what it is. They're trying to rule by enforcement. They're not trying to establish good practices and stuff like that. So, we'll see what happens. I think May right now is the earliest. I think May is the earliest that an Ethereum spot ETF could be possible. But, if news came out next month that Gary Gensler says, hey, this is going to get kicked down the road again, it would be par for the course pretty much with what the SEC's been doing over the last year to 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think they can reject it like 3 times. The SEC can review or kick the can down the road 3 times or something, and then
typically that'll be the case. And what's interesting is what happened with Bitcoin is, when the Bitcoin spot ETFs are going through their approval period, it took a federal judge to pretty much put a ruling down on the SEC saying, hey, look, these guidelines are being followed. You're just changing the standard around. You can't change the standard around.
Yeah.
And, that paved the way to January 11th when, the ETFs got approved. And now look where we are pretty much 2 months later. Bitcoin's already popping into new all-time highs, and Ethereum will be up to, I'm willing to bet that within, I don't know, probably within 3 or 4 months, because typically Ethereum will lag behind Bitcoin. At this point in a market, it'll typically be between a month to 3 months. I think last cycle, when Bitcoin reached its previous all-time high, it took Ethereum 3 months before Ethereum reached its all-time high. So if it follows suit and if it follows the same timing, then we could be looking in May, which, consequently or coincidentally enough, that's when the ETFs could be approved. That's also when the first interest rate decrease will occur. I mean, it's still up in the air whether it's going to be May or June. So the jury's still out on that one. We'll have to get a little bit more data in to figure that information out. But yeah, we'll see. It could be May. We're at $5,000 Ethereum, and then moving forward from there. So or it could happen sooner. It certainly could happen sooner. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Does anybody one thing what I'm trying to do here is in a decentralized manner is to raise some funds to send out to charities like the Travis Manion Foundation, Tunnels for Towers. There's a good handful. There's a lot of them. And, thank God that these private organizations are out here doing their thing, helping veterans, because the government honestly falls short. Some VA facilities are better than others, worse than others. Waits are, sometimes it seems like depending on what administration is in there, things get better or worse, what have you. And so these, private organizations step in and fill that void. And I truly believe in it. So they do a lot of different activities. A lot of them do, like Spartan races, runs. There's different variation of those where you're doing activities. You put a group together and join, go through the course and everything, getting dirty, muddy, sweaty. But it's that camaraderie, right? We miss that. We lose that after we get out. And it's great to have everybody back and doing that. Yeah, are you back in the zone? You back in there?
Yeah, it's 17 millionth times a charm, I guess.
Yeah, it's always a tricky thing, you know. Going live, it's always great, isn't it?
Yeah, apologies. I usually have a decent mic and headphones and stuff, but
yeah,
at least we're not charging for this, right?
Yeah. It's just our time, you know. So how is if you want to I'm gonna ask you briefly, like how was your recovery overall? Did you utilize any private organizations to bounce back? Did you go through the VA? Was it private? Was it a shitty experience? Good experience? Where can things be improved on the VA home front for wounded veterans recovering?
I have still never I take that back. The only time I've been in a VA facility is when I was still active duty. I had a bullet or RPK round impacted here right on the left side of my jaw. And so they had to put a reconstruction plate and then a smaller reconstruction plate above it with some little stainless steel screws. So when I was home on convalescent leave, one of the screws just fell out in my hand one day. I was like, oh, well, that's not right. So there's actually a dental school nearby here that's also near a VA facility. And actually between that VA facility and the dental school, they actually did the surgery here in my home area to kind of take that plate out and sort of put it back together, put me back in wires again. I was back in wires for a long time after that. I mean, I'm pretty much functional now. Sometimes when I laugh or smile, this lip doesn't move so well because it's paralyzed from the middle to about here. You can't feel anything. But as far as service organizations, yeah, they're called America's. They used to just be called Semper Fi Fund, and now it's Semper Fi and America's Fund.
Okay.
Yeah, I donate to them at least yearly around Christmas time. They helped out a whole lot. They flew my family out. They set my wife up with my wife and family members. They set them up with the paperwork to get per diem for meals and hotels while they came out. Because I was in hospital because it was a burst, so one went through my leg and another bounced off my jaw right here. So I was pretty messed up for about a month, pretty much in hospital there. Used to be in Bethesda, now it's Walter Reed.
Right.
But yeah, and I was just fortunate that I didn't read any of the commandant's reading lists when I was coming in, like Rifleman Dodd and all that stuff you're supposed to read. I didn't read any of those. But one of my buddies was like, hey, I read On Killing. I really liked it. And I respected that guy. We were kind of more, older coming in.
Robert Grossman, I think, on Killing.
Colonel Dave Grossman.
Dave Grossman, yes.
Yes. Yeah, Dave Grossman. He does.
Yeah.
But yeah, that book was that was basically like my unofficial manual for decompressing what happened to me. I never watched the movie Fury until about a year and a half ago, maybe. And it's like, holy shit, I know what that feels like. Like that scene where it's like at the end and it's like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. That was me for about 15 minutes one day in a field next to a mud hut. So yeah, it's different. But sort of unpacking that and being able to talk about it. So I'm super comfortable with it now. I can basically talk about any part of it. I've kind of figured out how to tell the story for people. So there's different ways to tell the story. Like when I first got back, and one of my buddies that didn't have any kind, they were just no military or police experience, and I kind of launched into the story, and I realized that a couple of them are turning yellow and all shades of green. Okay, I need to rework this a little bit for so I could, it's like I know my own, I process my own story so well that I can fit it for whether it's guys that are still struggling, because there's guys I know what it's like for something really bad to happen to me, that sort of intense experience. Thankfully, none of my guys got hit. It was me. I was the one in charge. It would still be tough to handle if if my stupidity got one of the other guys hurt. Said it was just me, which is bad enough. So I've dealt with that, and to a degree where I'm comfortable with, if there's guys that have seen worse stuff, I can relate to them. I haven't seen, like the really worst. Like I haven't, it was such a short, quick experience for me. But yeah, short answer, there's, Semper Fi Fund, been great. I recommend anybody, whether they're going into combat experience or coming out of it, try reading that book on killing. It's it's kind of a more intellectual processing of how the Army developed their training programs to get us as human beings, to be a generally more violent force, able to do violence with less hesitation. That's the point of all those immediate action drills, so that you take action immediately, right? You don't think about it. You don't think like, oh, what would my Sunday school teacher think? No, you muzzles up and you kill that motherfucker. And then you think about it later. That's the downside. You got to live the rest of your life with that. You have to live the rest of your life, knowing that there was nothing you could do. You had to shoot that kid, or he was gonna. I never had anything like that, and this is just other people's experience now that I've heard about. Like, that's a tough thing to live with for the rest of your life. Justifying every day, like, hey, I had to. It was either that kid or it was two of my buddies, so I had to.
Yeah.
But that's like just one example that book kind of could help you realize, like, hey, you had to do it, and also you were trained to not think about it.
Just react. Yeah. Just that's the whole purpose. You train, right? And it should just be second instinct. And to your point, I mean, it's for your brother or sister on your left and your right, and like, F you, I'm going home. Like, it's my job, and
well, hopefully we're going home. But
yeah, definitely. What was your rank when you were in?
I got out as a corporal. Yeah, I got out as a corporal. I was if you're familiar with the infantry ranks, I was an assaultman. So they promote super slow. You basically got to be like stellar and go into boards and stuff if you want to make sergeant in your first enlistment as an assaultman. 0351.
Right. How about yourself, Josh? When you got out, what rank were you at?
Yeah, I was an E5 sergeant when I got out.
Ooh, all right. Mm-hmm. Nice. But yeah, it's crazy, right? Because like different EOSs. Jesus Christ. End of EOS. Fuck. Anyways, I'm just drawing a blank all of a sudden. MOS, different MOSs. It's hard. It's depending on which MOS. Sometimes it's hard to rank up, right? How was it on the MP side? Was it full, or was there room to move?
Yeah, I mean, there was certainly room to move. And it's I don't know. A lot of it depended on the individual. Also, if you took advantage of opportunities and if you set yourself apart and stuff like that, that would help you. It wouldn't get you all the way because there's still a ranking system that comes out and stuff like that. But each and every individual had to put in their own sort of effort, and if you put in the effort and you took care of business, then it wouldn't have been an issue. But it comes down to everything. I'm sure it's the same way in the Marine Corps. Your weapons qualification has a lot to do with it. Your PT score has a lot to do with it. Different schools that you've taken. Have you had any sort of negative counselings or anything like that? That's going to detract from that.
Any page 13s?
Yeah, and commanders recommendations, and even when I became an NCO, how your NCO ERs look to get to the next level and stuff like that. So I mean, but I think that's just more so the Army in general. I do agree with you though. Like some ranks are some MOSs are more difficult to move up, but yeah, if you apply yourself, it wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, the continuing education, all that good stuff. I know. If you got another minute, Josh, you got a crazy Liberty story, 96-hour story, or any story in general?
I don't know. I think the best sort of story that I have like that is when I got back from my first deployment. I was 19, and me and 10 other guys that I deployed with, we decided as soon as we got home, we were jumping on an airplane and going over to the Dominican Republic. And I remember going to the Iraq embassy in Baghdad and, at the time to get a passport, because I still didn't even have a passport. So got the passport issued to me. So as soon as the plane landed, I want to say within a matter of 3 or 4 days, we all flew in from different parts of the country, flew into Punta Cana, and we just did an entire week of nothing but debauchery and day drinking and night drinking. And I mean, we did stuff that, like, I'm not even going to tell my daughter about, you know what I'm saying? It's just, we did some insane stuff, and it was just us blowing off steam from the year that we went through. And it was, when you're 19 years old, you're like, oh, hell yeah, all I'm going to do is, drink the beer, fuck the girl. That's all I'm going to do. Right. But, now simple, that I'm a little, those are the two priorities: drink the beer, fuck the girl. That's all that matters. But now, things, now that I'm a little older and I'm wiser and stuff like that, it's like, well, I don't know if I want to tell some of that stuff to everybody I know. But yeah, that's what it is. It was a week in the Dominican Republic. Absolutely phenomenal. Great experience. And it's the best memory that I forgot every single night from drinking so much. So it was great.
Sounds like the plot to The Hangover.
That's right. That's exactly what it was.
But did you die?
Close to it, but definitely not.
Oh my God. You got a quickie, Bob, real quick? I know you're an angel and everything. Yeah.
Both stories. Oh no, I definitely slowed me down on the whole promotion thing. Was I think I might have mentioned it last time I was on stream with you, but I drove into a naval nuclear facility with a pistol in a backpack. That was fun. So facing like federal, I think it would have been a federal misdemeanor. Not quite a felony. It was like one notch under a felony. But it was like perfect wake up call for me. I'm not above the rules, And also like I'd just gotten engaged at the time. So, my fiance, now wife, happened to break the news to her, like, hey, I can't come home because I'm on barracks restriction. That was fun. So, but it was perfect. It's like, it basically straightened me up and set me on a good path for the rest of the time I was in. And pretty much, that's a pretty lame story, I guess. I'll have to try to think of one for next time.
I'm gonna keep digging, man. We'll get that one good one out of you, for sure. But hey, Josh, we can round this out here, gentlemen. I know you got a great show going on there, the Degen RoundTable on YouTube. Great conversations and great peeps. Thank you for having me on as a guest on your show. But take it away. Let people know what you want to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Josh. You guys can find me on Instagram, on Twitter at CHOCOLATE TAINT. That's where you guys can find me. I'm also on Telegram as Chocolate Taint. I don't know if it's Chocolate Taint or Chocolate Taints plural, but either way, I got a nice little picture of a piece of chocolate as my background. So, but anyway, yeah. So we're doing some good stuff over at Degen RoundTable. We are growing as we speak, and we got a lot of good stuff coming up. We're going to be streaming tonight, 8:00 p.m. to 10:00 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to be doing our Whiskey Wednesday. So it's more of an informal cutback. I'll have whiskey. Other panelists will have whiskeys, and it's really an opportunity for folks to from our community to come on, introduce themselves, have conversations and stuff like that. So we open the floor. It's sort of like F and Hangout. If anybody watches Discord Syndicate, what RG3 does on Fridays, we do something similar to that on Wednesdays. So from 9:00 to 10:00. we'll do an open hangout for anybody that wants to hop in. And then typically from 8 to 9, we'll cover a little bit of news. Then we'll have a featured community member. So we're going to have a guy named Moonpilled Rational Optics tonight. So shout out to him. He's been one of our day one community guys. So he's going to be jumping on, and we're going to be talking to him, get to know him a little bit. And it's something that we like to do every other Wednesday. Next week, so we're doing that. We got book club coming up Friday. But, of course, you guys are going to be doing the Pulse Chain thing. Will Stevenson's going to be hosting that. And then our main show is Sunday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern on our channel, Degen RoundTable. We like to go over different current events. We like to go over news, try to model it as much as like Tim Pool or Patrick Bet-David. We try to keep a little Joe Rogan-esque in there also, sometimes talking about random stuff that doesn't involve crypto or anything like that. So, but then following Wednesday, so next week, I'm just going to give you the schedule. We're going to have Axis Alive. We're going to have Rags to Riches. We're going to have Crispy Man from hexfire.io. All three of them are going to be on stream. And myself and one of the other panelists, we're going to be having a good conversation about current politics, current economics, government legislation and government regulation, and what the overall macro market's going to look like over the next year or two, and how that can affect the crypto market. So, but yep, I know that's a mouthful. So I appreciate you having me on, dude. I love the niche that you're filling here. When you came on the show, you know how praiseworthy I was about that. I think this is a great niche. I think this is something that is needed. Because we talked about it on the show, man. There's so many similarities that you can draw between your time in the military and in crypto. And of course they're different, but in a lot of ways you can draw a lot of similarities. But if you guys haven't done so, Degen RoundTable, check us out on YouTube. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, Facebook as well. Go back and check out the episode that we did with VETS. It was last Wednesday. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast. He came on. We chatted up for about an hour or two. So catch that, and thank you guys so much, and had a blast here.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to put that into my like weekly sort of rotation. I heard about you guys, I think from your invasion of Matty Allen's latest conference. That was hilarious. Every other guy, another Degen RoundTable, and then I checked it out briefly, and I was like, these guys are neither they don't seem like they're too degenerate. It actually seems pretty mature and organized.
We do have a couple guys that are degenerate, right? But then there are other guys like me. I'm super conservative. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm probably one of the most conservative people in the space. Yeah. So we have all different viewpoints, all different strategies, all different viewpoints, and we just sort of come together for the common goal of just creating good content, making sure people are aware of current situations, finding the best strategy that works for you, because what works for me isn't going to work for you, isn't going to work for you. You know what I'm saying? So we understand that that's the world that we're living in now. So maybe I can influence person A, this person can do B, this person can do C, and so on. So
yeah. What time you said that's on tonight? It was Wednesday, right?
Yeah. So and what time is it now? We're just after, I don't know what. I'm on the East Coast.
6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So 8 o'clock. Yep. So an hour and 45 minutes we'll be going live. So hop on over, hour and 45 minutes.
I'll at least try to hit the chat. So yeah, I appreciate you guys.
There you go.
For me, I'm around on Twitter, around on Telegram. Me personally, if anybody has questions, I'm one of those that knows a little bit about a lot of things and a lot about not too much. So
when I say call you a lurker, I don't know. You're
always... I'm usually around. I'm usually one of those people that'll speak up if I'm watching a live stream, even if I'm the only one holding it down, trying to make conversation.
What you said there was one of my favorite sayings, because I say that all the time. I know a lot about very little. All right. But there is I know a lot about very little, but there is a very little bit of stuff that I know a lot about. So
right.
A little bit about everything.
Amen. Amen.
That's fun. Yeah, I always anytime I can usually I enjoy the if you need a wingman for the VETS streams.
Yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate you guys. I feel the support. You know, it's not it's, you know, it's for the community, it's for us all, man. Like, this is good. It's great to talk and just chop it up, shoot the shit, you know. Like, you can get back to talking hardcore crypto at 8:00 tonight, you know, but maybe hopefully you got to take a break and just fucking have a little fun and shoot the shit, you know. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
So,
had a blast.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Bobby, you're looking sexy. You're looking good, man. I don't know about that. Is that a Baltimore Ravens?
I got
color is
lighting here.
cool. Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens. Yes, sir.
Oh boy, go Bears. But hey, you know, it's an imperfect world. What can you do? You know. But all right, I will send us out of here, gents. Have a great one. And until the next time, peace.
All right.
First Saturday,
Hey.
hey, isn't it supposed to be on 2 feet? Holy.
Yo, it's the Hexicans again. Crypto, this ain't the end. It's real life, not pretend. The code is what we defend. We some crypto junkies. Hex and pulse chain be comfy. The price action bananas. Chimpanzees, monkeys, making trust to sleep. How can I claim a loss? Hex and pulse chain, they didn't rug. Gary Gensler, we're the victims. I really think you just spreading some fun. So tell me what this is about. Oh, you do anything for the clout? You are a joker and I am dope, but that's just a fact. Full disclosure. So tell me what's next. You think Richard Hart's gonna run with the funds? I heard some info to say that, and to me, that sounds really dumb. But that's just me, and we will see. Hex is no company. I own my crypto how it should be. No restrictions, totally free. With DeFi, there's no middleman. Just code program to do what it do. Repetitive tasks, kiss my ass and regulate this new asset class, cause we some crypto.